Major concern for Florida residents, flood insurance. Remember how much we talked about that with respect to Harvey? Well, it turns out in Florida, 1.4 million homes in the path, potentially, of Irma have no flood insurance. If your home there is not already insured, it certainly may be too late to think about something like that tonight. But I want to bring in Chip Merlin to discuss it. He's an insurance expert and disaster claims attorney. A couple things here, Chip. I mean, number one, that number seems high, but then again, we talked in Houston, a city that floods at a regular basis. There were a number of people who did not have insurance. For someone who doesn't know a lot about your industry, what do you say about that?
Well, a lot of people are under the misperception that you have to be in a special flood zone to buy flood insurance, and that's just not true. Any community that's part of the National Flood Program allows all of its citizenry, even those not in a flood zone, to go out and buy flood insurance. As a matter of fact, because you're not in a high-risk area, that's sometimes the cheapest insurance to buy. Right. And a lot of people in Houston are now just learning that they could have bought the insurance and they just didn't know so because of this misperception. Now, in Florida, we have more people insured under the National Flood Program than anywhere else, and we certainly learned a lot of lessons, especially in 2004 when we had 4 major hurricanes hit our state. There was a lot of storm surge. People learned from that, and then they learned after 2005 Hurricane Wilma. Unfortunately, it's now been, 12 years.
Yes.
And what happens is people tend to cancel their insurance thinking, well, we didn't have it. It hasn't hit in a long time. Maybe it won't hit again. And so we've seen some drop-off in the amount of federal flood policies. So we're going to see what happens this time around.
You know, in addition to the federal flood policies, I know it's a smaller sliver in terms of what, the overall market is in Florida, but isn't there that private market in the state? And if so, how does that affect things?
Boy, I was at an agents conference 2 months ago, and I couldn't believe the number of private flood insurance carriers that were out selling their wares to agents, letting them know that they could purchase significant amounts of flood insurance on the private market, even for condominiums and businesses. So this is the first time we've really seen this come along.
And a lot of people were going for it? Or?
Absolutely, because the rates are better than the National Flood Insurance Program. They do more underwriting and things like that. And it also allows people to buy excess insurance. In other words, your home under the National Flood Program is limited to $250,000.
Right.
These private carriers sell excess insurance above that. $500,000 is what the National Flood Program pays for businesses. It goes way above that.
Right. So the the National Flood Program, even say there's a beachfront property like a home along the ocean in Florida, that's only $250 then, right? Obviously the home would be far more than that. So then you fill in the blanks with the private.
And that's what people do. It's called excess flood insurance. A lot of people up in Superstorm Sandy along the Jersey Shore, up in the Hamptons, Long Island area found out about the availability of this excess flood insurance. Some people had it, many did not.
Yeah, that's the problem. You find out too late, and even, boy, I almost feel bad because the conversation tonight is too late, right? How long do you have to be out ahead of something like this, by the way, usually? Just real quick.
Usually it's a 30-day window, and they stop selling insurance whatsoever. Typically, when one of the hurricanes gets into the Atlantic whatsoever, and almost you cannot buy property insurance right now in the state of Florida.
Well, you understand that, too, from the company's point of view. Chip, thanks. Thanks a lot for tonight. We appreciate it. Now.